Now everyone loves open world RPG games, some ages with times and some just don't. So what if we compare some of the greatest open world title with almost same world theme side by side? Nice idea, right? So yeah, in this video we'll be comparing Witcher 3, which was released in 2015, Assassin's Creed Odyssey released in 2018, and newly released Elden Ring 2022. It sounds a bit unfair for Witcher 3 as it's the oldest among three, but this is what going to be the craziest part about this video, that how Witcher 3 still stands side by side with these two. So without wasting any more time, let's begin our side-by-side comparison. So there are many things we can compare in these three games. So let's divide stuff in categories and we will compare details in their respective categories. At number 1 we have combat. The first and very important thing to compare. We are not going to compare which game's combat feels better or which game's combat mechanics is better, but we will look which game's combat actually looks better in third person. Witcher 3's combat delivers fast-paced combat compared to Elden Ring, but the animation and work put in the Geralt's body makes it looks like we are actually watching a pre-planned battle. Compared to Odyssey, well, Odyssey combat looks and feels a bit like it's a game. Like Cassandra's animation sometimes feels a bit clunky, and sometimes she doesn't act like how a normal person should react in actual combat. In Elden Ring, it's just like any other Souls games but more refined. There are nice fancy animation in combat and our character reacts and moves just as we want. Unlike Witcher, where most of the animation is performed by Geralt's own will, you can see and compare them side by side. Among these three, Witcher 3 wins in combat, loaded with stylish animation, better hack and slash, where you can feel how sharp your sword is. With on second place it's Elden Ring and then Odyssey. Note that I haven't talked about combat mechanism, cause in that case Elden Ring will be winner as it contains more precise gameplay. Number 2, cutscenes. In Odyssey, no doubt characters look realistic in shiny armor. The body movement, texture, lightning and everything looks just fine. Compared to Elden Ring, in which we will just take Radhan cutscene for comparison, the character looks absolutely stunning. But the thing is, when we close up the camera, we can observe some minor problem with anti-aliasings and how edges are displayed in Elden Ring. I'm not saying it's faulty, but Assassin's Creed Odyssey's cutscene is just slightly better. When we compare the Witcher 3 with these two, definitely doesn't stand any chance in compare of realism, but we can see how stunning Witcher 3 looks in terms of details, like those light reflections on Geralt's body. Yes, it looks a bit clay at some point, but it's amazing. Number 3, grass and trees. I'll say it, Odyssey wins. It's not just it looks better, but it actually feels better and serve many other functions in game too, like hiding in bush and so on. So developers willingly made grass looks more realistic, so you can see side by side Odyssey grass and trees looks just more realistic. As you can see side by side Elden Ring grass looks great too, but there's no physics for bushes. However, you will hear proper sound effect, but you can actually make them move. Bushes looks copy paste. Trees seem more realistic compared to grass there. And if we add Witcher 3 beside these two, you can clearly see how Witcher 3 aged. Compared to these two, Witcher 3 grass look pathetic. It was good back in 2015, but now it's not. Let me explain. Every single texture is copy paste, which of course helps to reduce the load on the GPU. The bushes doesn't even have the sound effect when you pass through them, like it was in Elden Ring, which makes it like you are just walking through nothing in Witcher. Number 4, water. Alright, again Witcher 3 surprised me, as in this point it comes number 2nd. Odyssey have the best water, the Witcher 3, and then surprisingly Elden Ring. We can talk about water when it seems quite normal, but there are a lot of things going on with it, like how the response according to your movement. Naturally, Odyssey wins. A major part of its gameplay takes place in water and oceans and the waves, etc. And how water responds according to your gameplay and combat, it's impressive. But Witcher 3 actually surprised me. I still remember back in those days, it really mesmerized me when I used my art in water and how enemies were blown away with water. But the way you move, water actually responds to it, and with other objects too. Again, I'm surprised with Elden Ring as it disappoints me. The water looks oranges from far away, and when you interact with it, it shows its true colors, like the poor sparks, no proper wave effect, no proper response. It's just not good as Witcher 3 or Odyssey. You can judge side by side. At number 5 we have lightnings. Now lightning looks fabulous in all 3 games, no doubt, but I would like to keep Witcher 3 side for a while. Let's talk about Elden Ring and Odyssey. Both contains top-notch lighting quality. The lighting in both Elden Ring and AC Odyssey are uncomparable, as it both contain the same non-static lighting effect. Like if you move and there is a tree in front of you, then the object makes a shadow, and in an open world game this looks really wonderful. But finally I would say Elden Ring wins, cause Odyssey sometimes glitch and the lighting system as the shadow sometimes flickers. Well, it's not a very big deal as it doesn't happen very often. And in Witcher 3, god, I freaking love this lightning, and this is the best scenario I have ever seen in a video game, but it's just my personal preference. If we look the technical part, Witcher 3 lightning is very static as the object's shadow doesn't move how it should be moving in real life. It doesn't follow the player's perspective. I know Witcher doesn't pretend to be a realistic game, but I would say it's still getting outdated, but still holds its class in my heart. Number 6, clouds. Both in Elden Ring and Odyssey, clouds are amazing and very realistic. In one hand, Witcher 3 and Elden Ring have the fantasy approach to clouds, and on the other hand, Odyssey chooses the more realistic approach. But again, Elden Ring comes in first, then Odyssey, and then Witcher 3. Let me explain. Witcher 3 cloud just looks like a painting. It doesn't move with the fast wind, it doesn't scatter over time, and sometimes it even feels copy-paste in my 300 hours gameplay. It feels like it's just there with no purpose, with too far away from you to notice. We can say Ubisoft doesn't want it to work on it, so they hide it very impressively. And finally, Elden Ring. Clouds in Elden Ring are amazing, just like The Legend of Zelda. It feels like some clouds are far away and some are close. Closer clouds move faster. The lightnings actually affects cloud colors in Elden Ring. So yeah, what do you think, guys? Comment down below. And alrighty, my friends, it's time for us to move on our favorite part, weather. Again, tough call between Elden Ring and Odyssey, which is still out of competition, but this time Witcher 3 wins, right? I'm still surprised to see how CD Projekt Red were able to achieve this feat. Witcher 3's weather system is just on another level. You can actually feel the wind blowing. The trees reacting to wind and storm just feels amazing. Rain with storm actually makes you feel that you are not safe out there in the woods and you should take shelter. In Scalia, you could see the snowfall, which makes the game's weather flawless. In Odyssey, weathers are flat as your girlfriend. I mean, the storm in ocean feels good, but overall, it's not really as good as how it should be. In Elden Ring, yet, weather seems pretty flat, not like your girlfriend, but like your mom. You can see the beauty, but you can feel it. I mean, it's just decent and makes the job done. Like, yeah, some areas have its own weather, but it's pre-planned. And yeah, definitely better than Odyssey for sure. Next, horse and horse combat. Calling horse, riding horse, horse combat, and actual horse. Calling the horse actually plays an important role in game's realism. Like how realistic it feels when you call your horse. Does it appear from nowhere? Is your horse coming from sky or ground? Witcher 3 actually did it very great, cause you can never catch your horse appearing from thin air. It actually appears from nowhere, but from somewhere where you will never look, like behind the tree, somewhere from behind, etc. In Odyssey, it follows the very similar pattern, but in more realistic way. Your horse actually takes time to come, as it comes from very far away. And finally, Elden Ring. Doesn't even bother me to hide anything, as your cow horse just come from ground whenever you call it. Next is horse riding and combats, a very important feature in any medieval open world game, yet one of the most difficult mechanisms for every game. Only few major titles have been near perfection in this category, like Adia 2. Horse ringing in all 3 games are good, nothing fancy except jumping 100 meters into the sky in Elden Ring. If we see all the 3 games side by side, we will definitely notice some major difference, like in Elden Ring horse muscles when it walks, or runs in Witcher 3. There's no such details in Witcher 3's horse system. It simply looks old. Even the combat system is pretty much limited with just heavy and light attacks. Same goes with Odyssey, but this time horse looks more realistic. The veins and hairs and the overall muscle movement seems quite impressive. However, the horse combat still sucks. Next is Elden Ring. Once again, nothing too fancy to talk about horse, as it looks graphically impressive but not as good as Adia 2. But Elden Ring is better than Witcher and Odyssey because there are a lot of things going on, like when charge attack enemy, do some special combos with different type of weapons, even horse kicks back sometimes. That's amazing in Elden Ring. But yeah, that's it. I think now we can decide which games did best in what categories, but comment down your opinion, which one is best overall, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.